Welcome to today's webinar on Tyler SIS attendance marking for office staff. The time frame of this webinar is approximately 20 minutes. Please refer to your SIS District Coordinator for any questions. SIS District Coordinators, please email any questions to sisk12help@tylertech.com using the subject Tyler SIS Attendance Marking Webinar Questions. Tyler SIS training support documents can be found through the question mark icon throughout the program or in the online help at www.tylertech.com/client support under the Support tab and heading of Documentation. It is important to remember that the Quick Sheet library is updated often as SIS K-12 continues to grow. We recommend printing off necessary documentation only a day or two prior to your webinar or training session. Customer support can also be reached via the phone number or email listed. In SIS K-12, attendance marking allows the user to track student attendance by the hour or period for state reporting, and by full and half days for parents or internal reports. For today, we will be reviewing current day attendance marking by student and by classroom, global attendance marking, pre-marking attendance, the summary preview by site, and how to summarize and close the day. Each building or attendance center can configure SIS for the appropriate minutes in each active period and the minutes that define a full or half-day absence for that building. Attendance may be taken just once a day, every period, or on any time interval during the day. Absences are marked for the current day and then summarized daily, which moves those attendance marks to the attendance history. Changes for the current day may be made at any time during the current day, and any changes for a previous day may be made at any time through the attendance history. The school attendance calendar is created and published before school starts. For non-school days, both planned and unplanned, no attendance is taken, and therefore no data is summarized, and no attendance day is created on the calendar. The calendar is a record of the days school was in session. The screen header of the homepage always displays the current attendance date. Also on the homepage, you have the option of viewing classes. When you first log on, if the classes do not display, click the green Update Display button. If you would like the classes to display automatically when logging in, you can select the Remember Settings checkbox. If your teachers are marking attendance, you will be able to view if any teacher has marked attendance from the My Classes area. An exclamation point indicates that a teacher has not yet recorded attendance. An O indicates that the office has marked the attendance. A P is for perfect attendance in that class. And a T indicates that the teacher has taken attendance for the class that day. We will now review marking the current day attendance by student. I can navigate there by going to View Maintain, Attendance, Current Day by Student, or by simply clicking the attendance icon. On the Search Student screen, I will type in my student's last name and then click Search Selected Site. We can now see the student's name in the header. I will click the Edit button to enable attendance marking. We can see the current attendance date displayed. The drop-down box contains the codes you may use to mark attendance. To note a student as all day absent, I will select the appropriate code and then click Mark All Day. If you would like to remove an existing code, use the /remove and then click Mark All Day. All attendance codes for this day will be removed. Use the Check In and Check Out buttons to mark the student's absence in live time. The current time is automatically displayed and used. If marking for a time other than the current, you may edit the time by clicking in the box and entering the desired time. Using Check In will mark the student absent from all prior periods and late to the current one, as well as noting how many minutes. Please note that the comment box is automatically populated with the check-in time. Using Check Out will mark the current period with an early dismissal and all subsequent periods with an absent. The checkout time is also displayed in the comment box. Additional notes can be added to the comments as needed. Similarly, comments that are no longer needed can be deleted. At the bottom of the screen, we can see a list of absence codes. The state absence column indicates whether or not the absence counts against your state ADA. There are also checks for which codes teachers can use, if the code is considered a late arrival or early dismissal, if the code counts as a tardy, or if the code counts as an excused absence. When I have finished marking the student, I will click Apply. I can click the magnifying glass to search for a new student. We will now review attendance marking by class. From the home screen, I can click on the attendance icon in the appropriate row. Or I can navigate to View Maintain, Attendance, Current Day by Class. On this screen, I have 3 sort options, and I can select to view all periods or only certain periods of the day. After completing my selections, I will click Next. This will bring me to a list of classes that match my criteria. I can search for the classroom I need to mark by scrolling or navigating to different pages and clicking the select icon for the desired class. On this screen, I have the option to show student photos. Using this option, each student's photo will display on the left-hand side. I can indicate that all students were present by clicking the Perfect Attendance Today button. When I click this, a confirmation prompt will appear. I will click OK to continue my perfect attendance. This will return me to my class list. I can now see the word perfect in the marked column for that class. I will choose another class to mark. To mark attendance for a selected period, I can click in the appropriate cell and choose the desired attendance code. To mark the attendance for all day, I can choose the appropriate code from the drop-down list at the top of the page, and then click the Mark All Day button. I can also select a student through the Edit button next to their name. This opens the current day attendance by student screen discussed previously. When I am finished, I can click Done to return to the classroom page. I can now see the word Office in the marked column for this class. We will now review global attendance marking. I will navigate to View Maintain, Attendance, Global Attendance Marking. This area will enable us to mark attendance for a group of students based on common characteristics in their records. Instead of typing a student's name, I am going to click Go to Grid for selection. I will click the icon Student Selection Criteria. I can also select this area under Actions Student Selection Criteria. In the bottom section of this screen, I will find the field named Grade. I can check the Select checkbox and click the Add button, or double-click on the row to move this field into the top portion. I can then alter the operator, value, and group as needed. In-depth information about this data grid can be found in your data grid training materials. For this example, I want to bring up only 9th graders, so I will use the operator of equals and a value of 9. When I click Done, it will return me to the grid with the list of 9th grade students. By clicking Done one more time, I am brought back to the Global Attendance Marking screen. When this screen first opens, all students are checked. You can use the Clear All or Check All buttons if needed. You can use the Select Students button at any time to return to the search screen and edit the list of students. On the right-hand side, I can choose the attendance code from the drop-down list. I can also pick the appropriate periods I want to mark. I can then decide if I want to keep or replace any existing marks, or any exceptions to the replacement, such as an A for any student already marked absent. Finally, I can also choose to add a comment. If I only want to add a comment if the comment field is currently blank, I can click the checkbox On. When I am ready to view my potential changes, I will click on the Calculate Marks button. If I am comfortable with the changes shown, I will click the Post Red Marks button. Changes are not saved until Post Red Marks has been selected. I have now marked my entire 9th grade as out on a field trip unless they were already marked absent. We will now look at pre-marked attendance. Although absences are only posted for the current day, planned absences can be pre-marked or indicated to be posted on a day in the future. Disciplinary actions that result in removal from school can be pre-marked for the duration of the removal. I will navigate to View Maintain, Attendance, Pre-marked Attendance. This area allows you to mark attendance entries in advance along with comments, and also review and post your pre-marked attendance. The first tab, Pending for Today, will list those students that have already been pre-marked because either you or someone with the appropriate permissions has marked them, or it was indicated through a disciplinary action for in or out of school suspension. The second tab, All Pre-marked Entries, will list all students that have pre-marked attendance entered. From this screen, I can see the start date of the pre-marked attendance, the number of days to be marked, the codes being used, and any comments entered. If a student no longer needs the pre-marked day, I can use the trash can to delete the entry. Next, we will look at the Summary Preview by Site. To view this report, we will navigate to Reports, Attendance, Summary Preview for Site. On the report screen, the current date and default title will be displayed. These may be edited if desired. The attendance date is also shown, allowing you to run this report for any attendance date you wish. Pulled from the attendance date, you will see the selected date's calendar day number and whether or not an A/B day schedule applies. Your periods and minutes are also displayed. You may choose to print the home numbers and parent contact information, as well as any excused or unexcused absence report. You may also select an option to automatically withdraw a student after a given number of consecutive absences. This can be set up under Site Settings Attendance in the Options tab. When you have made your selection, click on Start Report. The report displays as a PDF. You may print or save your report as needed. The report will display the student's name, grade, absence code, and any comments noted. At the bottom, it will also display your state absences, your partial, tardies, suspensions, and all other absence codes used. This is done by period with a total. You can also see how many students were present and possible within each period, the hours, actual and possible, and the percentage. The last item we will look at is Summarize and Close the Date. This is the end-of-day summary and is run one time a day. This process closes the current day and sets the new attendance date. I will navigate there by going to View Maintain, Attendance, Summarize and Close this date. The report options here are the same as you see in the summary preview. After you have made your selections, you can click Start Report. Your report screen will display. Again, print and save as needed, and then click Done. Your school calendar displays next. It displays with the next known attendance day highlighted. You may either use the currently selected date and click Done, or click on the Select icon for the desired attendance date. We can now see that our current attendance date has been changed. If we revisit our calendar under Utilities, Attendance, Daily Calendar, and then scroll to our prior date, we can see that that prior date has been closed. Please note, if your school is using the site setting, Automatically Set Attendance Date, it is not necessary to manually close the day. We have now reviewed the tasks for daily attendance marking for the office staff. Please email any questions to sisk12help@tylertech.com using the subject Tyler SIS Attendance Marking Webinar Questions. This will conclude our webinar. We thank you for your participation.